So I just want to say shout out to Darian for even bothering to listen to this shit. So I'm just gonna have to take his video because I don't have the patience. Anyway, here we go.
The Democratic Party, again, as a lifelong Democrat. I don't know if you heard earlier, but I've been accused of being a member of the Orange People Party.
Well, they said that I did read something that said you met the vice president and you didn't think she was ready to lead the country. You shook her hand, and the way she shook her hand, you said you didn't think she was ready to lead the country.
I wasn't pleased.
Candiace.
Her resume doesn't mean anything. She did all those things and she still lost to an 80-year-old con man who showed the signs of dementia. So it's what it is. When you lose, you're supposed to assess. You need to assess a campaign. She has all of those things, and yet she still lost. Granted, things were held against her, but my point was she made a lot of mistakes. When I say Dr. Heavenly, it's because, you know what, Donald Trump worked the podcast circuit. Whether you like it or not, Donald Trump is very good, his campaign, at finding voters who don't normally participate in the process, who then look at him and then go vote. He's good at that. I don't like him, but he went on a podcast and was actually asking earnest questions about what's it like to be an addict. I was like, damn, this asshole actually seems human. He won a lot of votes that way. Obama, by contrast, doing interviews for a whole month. She also muzzled her vice president.
The problem that I have with these types of narratives is that when people say these things about Donald Trump, on the one hand, you want to say things in which you give him credit. Oh, he went on the podcast. Oh, he spoke to these people. He's very good at campaigning. He's this, he's that. My problem with that level of analysis is this. You are trying to give him an air of legitimacy he does not fucking deserve. And the reason he does not deserve it is this. When you have two candidates to choose from, and one of them is a former attorney general of literally the second largest DOJ in the country, a former senator from that same state, and a sitting vice president, and her competition is a man whose previous administration was a failure. Not only that, he bankrupted, 5 or 6 businesses. He bankrupted other small businesses because he didn't pay people. And a man who has been shown to lie prolifically and does not give a fuck about anybody else except himself. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, he was also a convicted felon. When you're presented with those two options and you vote for the felon, you can't tell me you voted for the felon because of the economy. You did not. That makes no sense. You cannot tell me you voted for him because of policy, because we've seen his policies of the past and they were disastrous. You can't tell me you voted for that felon over this overqualified other candidate and have me believe you. As a black woman in this fucking country, I do not believe you. I am calling you a liar. But when they say these types of things about Donald Trump, they are trying to give him an air of legitimacy he does not fucking deserve. Because him going on those podcasts and finding those votes was him appealing to people's misogyny or their racism or both of them bitches. That's what he was doing. Him questioning her ethnicity was appealing to fucking racists. The way in which he constantly talks about women is appealing to misogynists. That is how he got the votes. You're not going to convince me you voted for him for any other fucking reason. Because there's nothing you can say that is going to make sense, because whatever you can say, we will be able to find a counterexample that tells you that man was a liar. That man was not going to do what he said he was going to do. I don't care what you say. And when you as a black person who I presume to understand the history of racism in this country, give that man an air of legitimacy when y'all speak like this, to me, that is a fucking problem. And that to me is an indication that you have some feelings of camaraderie with him, but you don't want to be open about it. You're still trying to be covert. And I don't fuck with that shit. I don't tolerate that shit. That's how a lot of y'all move. Y'all move in very weird, covert ways, and you think we don't fucking notice. Bitch, we notice. When you portray it that way, or her resume doesn't matter, that tells me your mentality. That tells me you don't really understand what the hell is going on in this country if you think that man has any legitimacy when it comes to this political shit. He does not. He appeals to people's base nature. He appeals to their racism and their fucking sexism. That is what he does. And when y'all sit here and you don't tell the truth, when you don't take that man and expose him to the light of day, when you try to give him cover, you are part of the fucking problem. And this whole conversation about she muzzled her vice president, I don't see that. If anything, it seemed like she was pissed after that debate because he came across too nice to fucking J.D. Vance. She wanted him to rip that nigga's throat out, in a Midwestern way. Anyway.
I mean, he was actually very good at articulating how fucked up and crazy those people all sounded, but they muzzled him. Also, it was important that her brother-in-law, her senior advisor, cautioned her against that type of speaking about economic populism, talking about we need to tax these rich people, which is what we need to do. I think Bernie Sanders usually gets a lot of things right in terms of politics, but the reality is
And again, this is a Bernie bro. Bernard doesn't do shit but run his fucking mouth. You can dislike Kamala all the fuck you want, but she has gotten more actual policy accomplished and done than Bernard has in his entire 40 fucking years in the goddamn fucking Senate. Between her stint as Attorney General, Senator, and fucking Vice President, she has done more for policy in this country than Bernard has in 40 fucking years. She's done it in less time than he has. And I'm tired of this economic populism because it is painfully obvious to me none of you bitches bother to actually read her policies. What is it about you simple motherfuckers and your inability to fucking read? What is it? Why do y'all not like to read? And this is the shit that is pissing me off about so many people in this country. Y'all want to blame politicians for the fact that you are just an uninformed dumbass. Her policies were very populist if you bothered to fucking read them. But it's painfully evident he didn't. Because he's speaking out of his ass, out of the side of his fucking neck, because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
He'll not talk to black people. That's why he loses. But at the same time, imagine a black woman who actually spoke to class issues that people are actively mad about. And whether y'all want to get mad about it or not, like that's y'all fucking play, uncle.
I don't think she did a good job selling herself. And, I don't want to say clearly because she didn't win, because, people could argue that she didn't win for other reasons, defiance, anyone. But it is what it is at this point. And then what I have to address, I think it's so funny, is that people who thought that because I was critical of Kamala, my Howard sister, her handshake, that I'm automatically a Trump supporter. And to all of you people, you are the low vibrational people. Like, that is insanity to me, that you would think that because I am not, because I'm critical of one side, that means that I am like solidly on the other side. Life is not black and white like that. Life does not operate outside of nuance. Life is about nuance. And that's who you are. The low vibrational children left behind. And I just...
We are not the children who are left behind. Sir, you literally did not bother to read her fucking policies because you're going to sit here and say that she wasn't populist enough. You are left behind. You don't know anything. And yet you're actively speaking like you're an expert on some shit you don't fucking know. You don't get to criticize us for being children left behind when we bother to read the fucking policies and read the fucking bills. Y'all don't do that shit. I am sick and tired of being lectured to by a bunch of dumbasses, because that is effectively what this Trump shit and this Bernie shit is. There are a bunch of dumbasses who are half involved, who don't understand the processes, who don't bother to educate themselves, who don't bother to read, who want to sit here like they're fucking authorities on shit. You don't know any fucking thing. You're half-assing it. But as to you, Candiace, and your complaints about why would we say that you're a Trump supporter because of your criticism, I'm going to tell you why. Because your criticism was fucking stupid. You literally sat up there and said out your stupid fucking mouth that because she didn't shake your hand hard enough, that means she couldn't lead. That was your level of analysis. But y'all want to call us children left behind. A weak handshake equals weak leader. That is stupidity at work. That is what stupid people think. I'm sorry. If you believe that shit, you're a dumbass. That makes no sense. Let's look at it from a logical conclusion, shall we? This was a sitting vice president of the United States. They had met at a luncheon or whatever. The point is, this is a woman who is in and out of meetings, meeting a bunch of different people. She's probably shaking hundreds of hands a day. Is there a possibility that you were the 200th hand she shook? And that's why her handshake felt weak? Do y'all understand how muscles work? And the fact that they can be exhausted? And that it's probably not a good idea for you to be gripping bitches' hands hundreds of times a day? Because that's what my logic says. But you called me a child left behind. To me, that is a logical conclusion to draw as to why her handshake was weak. But for you, you didn't even bother to think about it. Instead, what you decided to do was you decided to get on a fucking podcast and say some dumb shit as if it was authoritative. Shut up. And for those of you who are like, well, we can't criticize these... Criticism of Kamala or any Democrat isn't really a problem. What I've noticed in my battles in the comment section is that for a lot of you, when we give you pushback to your criticism, you fucking fold like a goddamn chair because we actually know what the fuck we're talking about. We can pull articles. We can pull quotes. We can pull examples. You are pulling shit out of your asses. And when you are confronted with us and we are going back and forth, the bulk of you fold like weak ass lawn chairs since you want to talk about weak shit. Your mental faculties are trash. Your analysis is trash. Your comprehension skills are fucking low. You cannot hang with us. So your criticisms of them on policies isn't an issue. But what you don't get to do is cry when we start to push back against your obvious misunderstandings. The other thing we take issue with is the fact that while so many of you who are supposedly on the left have criticism for the Democrats, you do not have the same level of vitriol and criticism for the fucking Republicans. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think you should be criticizing Democrats at all. I'm going to tell you why, you silly bitches. Because the Republican Party has been actively working to oppress you motherfuckers at least for the last 60 fucking years. Since the goddamn Civil Rights Act passed, arguably since the goddamn New Deal passed. They have been actively seeking to roll back all of the things that the Democrats have done to expand access in our society to the most vulnerable of us and to give them a fucking voice. The Republican Party has been actively fighting against that and actively working through policy to fucking oppress you. All of your anger and vitriol, even if you don't like the establishment Democrats, conservative Democrats, corporate Democrats, whatever dumbass shit you want to say, all of your vitriol should be targeted towards those people. The objective is to move the Overton window to the fucking left, and your dumbasses are moving it to the fucking right. I'm fucking tired, bro.
I want better for you all to be okay with dissent and it not like make your panties be all bunched up.
The gentleman said,
dissent is acceptable, Candiace. Stupidity is not. Ignorance is not.
That Kamala's numbers are under Gavin's and that wait until AOC runs. Kamala really don't know. I'm like, you talking about baby J-Lo? These people crazy. Do all you want, but again, she lost. If you want her to do better, you need to start listening to people who have critical things to say. You don't have to take every criticism to heart. But
I'm not listening to criticism from dumb people. you are going to get pushback. No one's going to listen to you. Actually, no, we are listening to you. We are just using our critical thinking skills and pushing back against you. And you don't have a response. And you are in your fucking feelings because you can't fucking respond to us. And you're trying to couch that as, we don't accept criticism. No. We're okay with criticism, but you need to be okay with pushback. You need to be okay with criticism too. And it's painfully evident you're not. And the reason you're not is because you're talking out of your ass. You know you don't know much of shit. And when people who know better than you, who know more than you, who have more facts than you, show up, you feel incompetent. You feel like we're making you look dumb. No, us pushing back against you is showing that you don't know shit, that you are dumb. No one's making you do anything. That was you who did that shit. That was your lack of education. That was your lack of knowledge. That was your lack of analysis. Your lack of critical thinking that did that shit. The fuck are you talking about?